just hanging out. So I've tried to film this now twice. This is my third time. I always forget something, so hopefully I won't forget something this time. Hey guys, it's Elizabeth, and I just got done filming a carrier video. So I figured I'd do my birth story too while I'm here. February 18th was my due date, and that's when she was born. And at 11:45 that day, my water like officially broke, I guess. Earlier, I was on the toilet and I felt something weird, like worm or something kind of come out, and I was like, that's weird, so I got up, but I wasn't dripping or anything. So I was like, okay, maybe that wasn't my water. So I went and sat on my birthing ball, and we watched Ellen, and we were doing some other things, and then my husband was like, maybe we should go for a walk. So I went in the room, my bedroom, and I laid down just for a little bit, and then I felt like I was cramping. So I was like, maybe I should time my contractions, and I literally got up and my like warm gush came right out of me, and I was like, oh my gosh, my water broke. So I called my mom and I called my friend who was watching Emmett, and I told him my water broke, and I was like, should I get a shower? And they're both like, yeah, get a shower. So you can, I don't know, just be clean, I guess. So I got a shower. We got Emmett packed up. We went got Ben Burger King, and we dropped Emmett off at my friend's house, and I would say it was probably 1 o'clock maybe at this point, because Burger King took forever. And we went up to the hospital. It was almost 2 o'clock when we checked in, and they checked me. Well, first when I got there, they were helping somebody else, and I wasn't contracting either. This whole time in the car, I mean, nothing was happening, and I called my midwife. I was like, my water broke, I'm not contracting. She was like, okay, come in. So I like sit in the waiting room, wait for them to come check me in. Check me in, they're gonna check my water to see if my water actually broke. Well, they did the paper strip, it came back negative. So they did like a full-on exam. Came back negative, but the doctor said he did see like a membrane, he think my membrane did rupture. But the whole time I'm like standing, I did not sit down, I was trying to move, trying to get her out of me, and then like we were in the triage room, and I was squatting on the ground, like trying to, you know, gravity get her out, start contractions. Like a big pool of water was coming out of me, and then I wiped it up, and Ben and my mom, who I was texting, were like, why'd you wipe it up? You should have had him get it tested. But it was a lot of water coming out of me, and so I was like, there's no way that test is negative. Like, I've had to have broken my water. And this is maybe even before we were waiting for the other results. So I don't know, so I was dancing, I was moving, I was trying to get everything going. And they came back and she's like, yeah, it's negative. So she's like, your doctor wants you to stay here and see if your contractions pick up. So I was like, okay. So I was literally, like I said, I was trying everything again. I was squatting, I was dancing, I was trying different positions. And then I kind of just got tired after a while. And I had like one really big contraction, and then it stopped. And then while I was, so I got back on the floor and water came out of me again. So I didn't clean it up this time. And she did this test strip again, and it turned blue, which is supposed to be the color or whatever. So after it turned blue, they were like, okay, now we know that your water officially broke. I told my midwife, and they were going to admit me. So it was like 4 or 5 o'clock, I feel like, at this point. Because we were in that triage room for a long time. We were in triage and everything, so finally they were going to admit me. She tried to start my IV, but like I was really dehydrated because I didn't think I could drink anything. And I didn't have really anything to drink since we got to the hospital, so that they had a hard time trying to find my IV. So I finally go up to labor and delivery. They told me they were going to start on Pitocin, and I really wanted to labor in like a water birthing pool, but that wasn't going to happen because I was going to be on Pitocin. So that was kind of a bummer. I know I talked about that in my hospital bag and probably before that. So they were like, okay, do you want an epidural? And I was like, nope, I do not want an epidural. And I wasn't too bummed about the Pitocin. I feel like the same thing happened with Emmett. If you watch my birth story, my water broke and then nothing happened. I had to go on Pitocin. So I don't know if that's just my body, like my water breaks and they don't want to do anything. I have no idea why that really happened. So, but I knew it was going to be painful, but I knew it was probably going to be quick because I was on Pitocin. So they started me on 2, and they upped me to 4 eventually, and then 6, and then 8, and then 10 at one point. But the hardest part when I was there, I wanted a ball, so she got me a ball, but I couldn't really be on it because they couldn't hear the heartbeat, and they had to hear the heartbeat because I was on Pitocin. So, and I was so tired because I was standing up in triage for 2 hours, basically, 2.5 hours, and I was just like, and I didn't want to sit down because I knew that wasn't going to do anything, because gravity will make your baby come down. And I mean, the Pitocin I know was going to do something, but it could have been longer. I have really no idea. So she's like, you can stand or you can sit. Finally, I think I just sat down because I was like, I just need a break for a little while. And I was filling out some paperwork and my contractions started picking up. And they were doing turnover, so I know turnover started at 6. This was probably a little bit before 6, maybe like 5:45. And then my husband went to go get some food because my midwife came in a little bit before that, was like, you're not really contracting, so I'm going to go take my daughter to this birthday party. You can eat if you want. At that point, I was pretty hungry, so I was like, yeah, I'll eat. So my husband left, went to go get something. I wanted something kind of light, but there wasn't really anything around there, so he went to this like Italian place and got me a sub. But by the time he got back, I didn't want to eat it because I was contracting pretty hard. They were coming a little bit stronger, but I could still kind of talk through them. But I was drinking, I remember drinking a lot of water, so that was nice. I didn't know, like, I know in natural birth settings, like at home, they can let you eat and drink, but I didn't really know at the hospital they can start doing that, which I think is really nice. Because like with Emmett, I went so long without having any food or drink. It was ridiculous. So, I mean, I had my IV, but I couldn't like drink. So, once I remember Ben coming back with the food. He like ate. I was like, you need to eat because you're hungry, you know, it's been a while. And he's like, do you want to eat? And I was like, no. And he helped me fill out some paperwork because I really couldn't get through the paperwork at that point. And then the nurse, who was the nighttime nurse with turnover, she brought me this thing to hold my monitor on so I could actually sit on the ball. So I sat on the ball and I was facing the bed. I was like this, basically. Clock was behind me, so it was hard to figure out what time it was at, or what time everything was. So I was on the ball, and then my mom came. I think she came at like 7:30. So my contractions were like picking up. They were pretty strong at that point. I know I could still like talk, not through them, but in between them. And I felt like I got a pretty good break. Because sometimes they were a little bit stronger than other ones. Like I really tried to breathe through them. Really tried to like imagine her coming down, like talking to her. And being like, okay, it's just me and you know, you're working your way down, I'm gonna meet you soon, like all that stuff. And like if I was able to like take breath through them instead of like holding on, they were a little bit easier, but some of them, you know, I just was like, ooh, you know, it's a little hard when you're in pain not to like tense up. Because I remember with Emmett, I was doing that a lot. It was really hard to relax through contractions because they were intense. So, and I don't really know, when I was pregnant with Emmett, like my epidural didn't work and all that stuff. I can put my birth story down below. I don't know how fast they were pumping that Pitocin. This one I could see it and hear it, and every time they came in, I would know that they were bumping it up or whatever. So, yeah. So I was on the birthing ball, holding on. My mom would massage me sometimes. They're like, "What do you want?" And I just didn't really want to talk. I was just kind of moaning, and my moans started getting bigger and bigger and louder when I was contracting, which helped a lot. And then at one point I was like, they were talking about this IV med, so I was like, I think I couldn't handle it anymore. I wasn't being checked or anything, and I was like, if I'm at like a 5 or a 6, I don't know if I can keep going like this. It's just too much. So I asked for this IV medication, like, well, do you want your midwife to check you? And I was like, yeah, she can come in and check me, and we can, you know, go from there to see where I'm at before I get this medication. Well, she gets in there, and I stand up, and she's checking me, and I'm like, oh, and I like bear down, because all of a sudden I can like feel her. She was like right there, and I don't even know if I would have stood up, like how long I would have kept laboring, because she was like right there, and I didn't feel her on the ball, like in my birthing canal or, you know, whatever right there. So I was able to get back on the bed, which was pretty hard. And then I was on my side. I turned to my right side. My midwife told me to get on my side, and she said I could start pushing through the contractions. So they get me off Pitocin, and I just start like contracting naturally, because she said she liked to do that, so you know, it's not so much like forced. But I was pushing and pushing and pushing, and it was really hard for me to push. Like I was like, I can't. Like I felt like I was running out of breath, running out of energy. And my mom and everybody like, she's so close, she's just gonna give it a push. And I was I was like pushing like out, and I needed to like push in, I guess, you know, like crunch up. So I wasn't holding my leg, and finally my mom was like, hold your leg so you can like, so you can you know, like really push and really bear down. So I gave a couple good ones, and then I found out she's sunny side up, and that's why it was a little harder to push, and I was having a lot of back pain, because I'd be like, does your back hurt? And I was tolerating my pain, I think, pretty well. Because they asked me, like, what are you at? And I'd be like a 5, and they're like, what are you at now? I'd be like a 7, you know, I wasn't really, so I think maybe that's why they pushed the Pitocin up just a little bit. But I remember my back was a lot of pain. I was wondering, oh, is she sunny side up? And a lot throughout my pregnancy, I was ending up on my back if I woke up in the middle of the night. So I was really trying to turn her towards the end, like sitting on my ball, trying to sit forward, but I guess she never really turned. Yeah, so she came like face up, and out she came, and it was amazing, wonderful. I was really proud of myself. I didn't do any drugs, like epidural or even the gas or even the IV medication, and I had Pitocin, and I even did it. So I was really proud of myself. And she was 6'15", and in her update I said 22 inches. She was 20 inches at 8:59 p.m. So that was really great, and I'm not mad or anything that I go on Pitocin. I mean, you know, because I think it helped me, and I give my body, you know, needed it, because who knows how long I would have been in labor if I did like a home birth, or if I stayed at home, like who knows how long I would have been trying to get into labor, and I would have been probably exhausted by the time it was actually time to go into labor. And I feel like I would have probably had to go to the hospital anyways, because she just wasn't coming out. Disappointed in that. And then afterward I was bleeding a little bit, a lot, so I did have to get the Pitocin shot in my leg, which really hurts. They do that at home births, or you know, the reason why is because I had my IV. When they took it out, it got flushed with blood. Like, they didn't pull the plastic needle thing, they pulled this part, and I guess it got filled with blood, so they couldn't re-enter the Pitocin, because normally that's what they do, they just give it to you an IV if you're bleeding like that. But I had to get the shot because my IV wasn't in, and they couldn't put it back in. And then I also had to get another shot because I was bleeding so bad. It was scary. It was really scaring me after a while. And my nurse was so great. She was super nice. She was like, it's okay, it happens, you know, we got it, it's under control. And I like ate immediately afterward. My placenta person made a placenta smoothie for me, so that was really awesome. So I was starving, and it was so nice because I didn't have to like get the catheter pulled out or wait for anything like that. I was able to just, you know, kind of walk around, and I was able to move my legs during Emmett's pregnancy, but like getting the catheter out. Oh, and I also tore again the same spot where I tore with Emmett. So that was kind of interesting. I was kind of wondering if I would have re-torn, and I did. So that was unfortunate, but she was sewing me up. It didn't hurt as much this time. I remember, and I was like, ouch, 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 because like, don't you use that epidural? And I was like, yeah, but it's not working. So I was able to get that, and I didn't really feel the ring of fire that everybody talks about. Not that I really, I mean, I did feel like a warm sensation, but I feel like that was water. So I don't know if that was the ring of fire or what, they were squirting something. But I remember they kept saying, you're gonna feel this ring of fire, and I really didn't really feel like I felt it. I don't know if it's because she was sunny side up or what. I have no idea, but I didn't really feel it like everybody says that you're gonna feel it. Unless I did feel it and thought it was water, I don't know. So, and it really hurt as bad as I thought it was going to, I guess. So yeah, that's how she came into this world. And like I said, it was a quick labor once I got that Pitocin started. It was 4 hours, I guess you could say, like 3 or 4 hours of total time. So that's not really bad, and you know, at least it wasn't longer than that. It'd been cool if it was shorter than that. Like some women, like, my water broke and an hour later I had the baby, but my body wants to do other things. So anyways, thanks for watching, and Saturday she'll be a month, so it'll be a month update and a month postpartum update for me, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.